Hello friends, welcome to the session on AT51. In this session, we'll be discussing about the architecture of microcontroller unit called as 8051 or AT51. In this session, we will see what we mean by 8051, what is the block diagram for this microcontroller unit 8051, what are the different pins that are associated with this microcontroller unit 8051, and what is the difference between the microprocessor and microcontroller unit. Friends, as you know that you are viewing this session on my YouTube channel, and do subscribe to the channel to see many other videos on the various topics of the subjects of electronics and computer science. So let us start the session with the question what we mean by AT51 or 8051. Intel 8051, or sometimes it is being pronounced as AT51, is a single chip 8-bit microcontroller unit, or sometimes it is being called as a MU-C, where mu will stand for micro and C will stand for controller. And this chip was originally designed and introduced by the Intel Corporation in 1980s. So this is a photo which will show such 8051 microcontroller unit. So one can easily observe that this is a 40-pin IC, and this IC can be used as a controller IC. So this microcontroller unit, many times we call it as a MCU. It will consist of the microprocessor. It will consist of the required RAM. Also, it will consist of the read-only memory ROM. It also has the input-output ports, and it will also have the timer on the single chip. So as we have seen in case of microprocessor 8085, that whenever we want to interface any device, then we need to make the use of another IC 8255 for that purpose. But microcontroller is such a kind of a thing which will consist of everything that is being needed in order to build the application. So it will have microprocessor, it will have the required memory, it will also have the IO ports and the timer. So many times this microcontroller is being called as a computer on a chip, because whatever the things are there in a computer, almost everything is available on this chip, and therefore it is being called as a computer on a chip. This chip was originally designed for use in the embedded systems. So whenever we want to think of any system in which the programs are incorporated or inserted in the system itself, and such system can be called as an embedded system. So for example, many modern devices such as microwave oven or the fridge that you use in your home, you will find that the microcontroller chips are embedded in the device itself. Many devices such as car will also have the system inbuilt within itself. And therefore, whenever you think of developing such systems where the required programs and the required hardware is being incorporated in the system itself, then those systems can be called as an embedded systems. So whenever you think of the designing of any embedded system, then there you will find that you can make the use of this microcontroller 8051. So this microcontroller 8051 will have the microprocessor or a central processing unit, which is also 8-bit CPU. It will have an access for 64 kilobytes of program memory space. It will have an access to 64 kilobyte data memory address space. That is, externally, you can connect some memory for storing of the program or for storing of the data. Also, it will have on chip 4 kilobytes program memory and 256 bytes on chip data memory. It will have the 32 bidirectional input output pins where you can connect some external devices. So it will have 4 ports and each port will have 8 pins. And therefore there are 32 bidirectional IO pins. And also it will have two 16-bit counters or timer circuits. So since this chip is having a lot of functionality that are being incorporated, and therefore whenever we think of the microcontroller unit, then you can call it is just like a Swiss knife, as shown in this photo, where we know that the Swiss knife will also consist of a lot of functionalities. And our 8051 microcontroller unit also consists of a lot of functionalities. So 8051 is very useful microcontroller unit because it can be used in any modern digital application. So for example, it can be used in cell phones. It can be used in digital watches. It can be used in digital alarm clock. It can be used in several devices such as air conditioner, fridge, microwave oven. It can be used in TV remote, or even it can be used in washing machines. So all such devices which require certain kind of atomization. So this atomization can be provided by making the use of the microcontroller unit 8051. It is also possible that we can use this IC in the robotic systems, or even many modern medical instruments are also automatic machines, and therefore they can also make the use of such microcontroller unit. So now let us go for understanding the block diagram of this microcontroller unit 8051. So one can easily observe that it has a CPU, it has an interrupt control, it has an oscillator to which the external crystal can be connected. It has a ROM, it has a RAM. So ROM is about 4 kilobytes, RAM is 256 bytes. It has a bus control, it has IO ports, and there are 4 IO ports, P0, P1, P2, and P3. It has a serial port, and also it has 2 counters. So the CPU is a 8-bit microprocessor that will control all operations of the microcontroller unit. It will read the program that is being stored in the ROM, and it will execute that program. This IC also has an interrupt control. So this interrupt control will accept the external input and breaks the normal execution of the program. So it is a kind of a subroutine call that will pause the main program. So once the subroutine is being completed, then again, the execution of the main program will start. It has an oscillator, and this oscillator can generate the clock pulses, and the frequency of which can be in the range of 1 to 16 megahertz. It has a memory where there is a 4 kilobytes of memory that is being called as a read-only memory. That is, once the program are fed, then they will be stored permanently there and you cannot modify them. And it has also a RAM memory of 256 bytes. So ROMs are used to store the program, while the RAM is used to store the data. It has a bus, and this bus is a collection of wires. So address bus is of 16-bit, while the data bus for 8051 is of 8 bits. It has input-output ports to which we can connect some external devices. So there are 4 ports, P0, P1, P2, and P3, and each port is of 8 bits, and therefore there are 32 IO pins available for which we can make the connection of the external devices. It has 2 timers, and these timers are the 16-bit timers, or sometimes we call them as the counters. And these counters are being used for the measurement of the time interval. It has a serial port, and this serial port is being used for the serial transmission of the data. So many times we need to have a serial transmission of the data where the data bits are transmitted sequentially. And in that case, we can observe that there are 2 pins available, TXT that is being for the serial data transmit pin, and RXD that is being used for the serial data receive pin. Now microcontroller is different from that of the microprocessor. So let us compare between the microprocessor and microcontroller. Microprocessor like 8085 or 8086, or even if any modern microprocessor, when you consider, you will find that it has a CPU, which is a standalone CPU. And whenever you want to make the use of this CPU, then you need to design the microprocessor based system, which will consist of RAM, ROM, input, output, timer. So all these things are separately connected to the microprocessor. While in case of microcontroller, everything is there available as a part of the chip only. So CPU is there, RAM is there, ROM is there, IO is there, and also the timer circuits are readily available. Microprocessor, whenever any designer want to make the use of the microprocessor, then he can decide how much ROM is required, how much RAM is required, what is the requirement for the IO ports. While in case of microcontroller, there is no flexibility because the things are fixed, and whatever the chip that you select, you will find that the fixed amount of ROM, RAM, and IO ports will be made available on the microcontroller chip. Microprocessors are comparatively expensive, and microprocessors are comparatively expensive, and microcontrollers, you will find that they are being designed for the specific applications, and therefore the cost, power, and space is being saved whenever one go for the designing of the microcontroller. Microprocessor, one can say, is a versatile device, while microcontroller is not a versatile device. It is a single purpose, or it is application oriented device. Microprocessor is a general purpose, while microcontroller cannot be a general purpose device. Comparatively, you can say that the microprocessor will have the high processing power, while the processing power of the microcontroller will be less. It has a high power consumption, while there is a low power consumption for microcontroller. The instruction set is more intensive for the microprocessor, while the instruction set will focus on the type of the application that we have been, for which the microcontroller is being designed. Microprocessor nowadays can be available of 32-bit or of 64-bit, but typically the microcontrollers that are available, that can be either 8-bit or 16-bit only. Also, you will find that there is a typically deep pipeline. There are about 20 stages in the design of the microprocessor, while the design stages in the microcontroller are much less, and it can be only up to 2 stages. So one can easily find the difference between the microprocessor and the microcontroller. So microcontrollers, you can say that the ready-made things are there available, and if you want to use it, and if you find it suitable for a particular application, then always you can go for the microcontroller. But if you are thinking of any general purpose system, then always you can go for the microprocessor. This is the architectural block diagram for the microcontroller 8051. Now one can easily find that this consists of a arithmetic and logic unit, and this arithmetic and logic unit is actually the unit which will perform all arithmetic and logical operations of the microcontroller. It will consist of accumulator. Accumulator is just nothing but an 8-bit register that is being used to compute some result and to store the result. Oscillator, you can say that oscillator will produce the square pulses. Externally, we can connect the crystal for the generation of the oscillations, and the oscillations that can be produced can be in the range of 1 to 16 megahertz. Then it has a special resistor, and this resistor is being called as a PSW, or many times we call it as a program status word. So this is a 8-bit resistor, and this resistor, as shown in this diagram, will consist of the 8 bits, and this 8 bits will have effect on the 4 conditional flags and the 3 control flags. So the conditional flags that are being used in the PSW are the carry flag, auxiliary carry flag, parity flag, and the overflow flag, OV. And the control flags are F0. It is being called as a flag 0, which is normally a user-defined flag. And there are the flags RS1 and RS0. And these are used to select the bank of the register. Program counter or PC. So this PC will consist of the address of the next instruction to be executed. So whenever we feed some program to this microcontroller, then the instructions are executed one after the other. So program counter is a special register that will hold the address of the next instruction to be executed. It will consist of the stack pointer. So one can observe that the stack pointer has an address of the top of the memory. And this memory is a special memory, which is being called as a stack. As far as 8051 is concerned, the stack will have the memory, the stack will have an address of 81H. When the data is being pushed onto the stack, then it is to be incremented by 1. And whenever we remove the data from the stack, then it is to be decremented by 1. Then there is a register. This is also a special register called as the DPTR. So this register is being called as a data pointer register. This is a 16-bit register, and that will hold the address of the external or internal RAM where the data is being stored. So whenever you want to make an indirect addressing, then in that case, you can make the use of this register. This register is being divided into 2 8-bit registers, such as the higher order register DPH and the lower order register DPL. 8051 has 4 special function registers, such as timer or counter register. It will also have a serial data register. It will also have an interrupt register, and it will also have a power control register. So a lot of registers are available, and every register is being assigned with certain function or job. Now let us go for the structure of the RAM that is being available in the microcontroller 8051. So as we know that 8051 is an 8-bit microcontroller unit that will consist of 256 bytes of internal RAM. So this is a diagram which will show us the structure of the internal RAM that is being used for 8051. So the first 128 bytes from 00 to 1F that is being used for the register banks, such as banks 0, 1, 2, and 3. Then from 20 to 2F, this is a bit addressable RAM. So this is the area which is a bit addressable space or RAM. From 30 to 7F, these are the general purpose registers. And the next 128 byte from 80 to FF that is being used for the special function registers. So one can say that the internal RAM is being divided into 4 sections. The first section will consist of the 32 bytes register bank from 00 to 1F. So there are 4 register bank into RAM. Each register bank will contain the 8 registers of 1 byte. So there will be a total 32 registers in the register bank. By default, the register bank 0 will be selected. And if you want to change the register bank, then you have to set the value of the 2 register selection bits in the program status word or PSW register. Then the 16-byte bit addressable area is there from 20 to 2F. And this can be accessed by the suitable instruction. Then there are general purpose register area from 30 to 7F. So these 80 bytes are the general purpose area which can be shared with the data. SFR or special function register is there in the memory space of 80 to FFH. So upper 128 byte of the RAM access in direct addressing, while SFR is accessed by the direct addressing. SFR will contain many registers such as accumulator, register B, interrupt enable IE, or interrupt priority IP. Now this is a pin diagram for the IC 8051. You will find that this IC will require a 5-volt power supply. So pin number 40, where we can apply the plus 5-volt power supply. Pin number 20 is a ground pin to which we can connect the negative terminal of the power supply. So there are 4 ports, P0, P1, P2, and P3. So total 32 pins are available. And these are the pins that can be used as the IO pins, input output pins. Apart from that, you will find that there are certain special pins that are being available. So for example, we have a pin PSEN, which is a program store enable. This is the read signal for the external program memory, and it is an active low. Then we have another pin ALE, that is address latch enable, to latch the address output at the port 0 and port 2. EA is the external access enable pin. It is also active low, and through which we can make an access to the external program memory locations from 0 to 4K. RxD and TxD are the UART pins for the serial IO on the port 3. XTL1 and XTL2, these are the 2 pins that are being used so that we can connect some external crystal for the oscillator. So as shown in this diagram, we can connect this crystal to XTAL1 and 2. And one can easily observe that we can connect the VCC and ground, and then these are the bidirectional port pins that can be used for connecting the IO devices. Also, we have some special pins in the port, such as P3.0, which is the RxD pin. It is an input signal pin. Through this pin, the microcontroller will receive the serial data. TXD, where we can have the serial data transmission. Then we have INT0. This is the external hardware interrupt pin 0. Through this pin, the peripheral interrupts the microprocessor. INT1 is also interrupt pin 1. And the interrupt to the microcontroller can be achieved through this pin. Then T0 and T1, these are the input signal pin to the timer 0 circuit and timer 1 circuit. So external clock pulses will connect to the timer on these pins. Then there is a active low write output pin, and there is a active low read output pin. So these are the read and write control pins. Also, we have the pins 32 to 39 that are being used for the port 0, which can serve as a bidirectional IO port. Pins 1 to 8 are being used for the port 1, which has a quasi-bidirectional 8-bit IO port. And pins 21 to 28 are used for the port 2, which is also an 8-bit quasi-bidirectional IO port. So thank you, friends, for viewing the session. Hopefully you have understood the basic block diagram of microcontroller unit 8051. In our next session, we will discuss what are the different instructions that are available with this microcontroller unit. Thank you all for viewing the session.